This video is to give you a quick tour of the Pathfinder tools that we'll start using in Graphics 1 in the next few tutorials and projects. And so the Pathfinder tools are really helpful because they let you interact shapes together in new ways to simplify construction, to edit in new ways, and to create more custom shapes. And so to find your Pathfinder tools, up here in the Illustrator menus, if you go to Window, Pathfinder, it'll bring up this little panel of options. I like to have mine kind of live in my Pathfinder my panel toolbar, and so I'm going to drag this little window over there, and then it'll be right here. And so if you hover over each of these buttons, it shows you which tool it is: Unite, Minus Front, Intersect, Exclude, Divide, Trim, Merge, Crop, Outline, and Minus Back. And so I've started with these two shapes that are going to look similar to what you're going to start with in your first worksheet. And I'm going to just make a copy of them down here to show you how they interact with each other. So for example, I'm going to put my star on top of my circle. I'll bring it to the front. So I've got these two shapes together. If I select them both and apply the merge, I now have one shape made out of those two shapes. And so you'll probably already seen that this could be really useful for the project you guys just finished with the 10 objects, where if you were making a water bottle and you had to start with a circle and add a couple more circles to get the shape you wanted, then you could take and select all three of those and merge them together, and now you have one unified shape, which is better than just grouping things when you're trying to build custom shapes and objects. And so the merge is going to make one new object out of the ones you had selected. So you'll see that it's one path going around. It's not just grouped, it's one path. And now we can't edit the two original shapes. So when you apply Pathfinder tools, it doesn't let you go back and kind of change the shapes without undoing everything and getting back to your original two shapes. You'll use merge a lot, as well you'll use minus front, the second one. Minus front is going to take whatever is the top shape, the front shape, and subtract it from what's behind it. And so now you'll see that we've got just those areas that were around the star. The star is gone. So if I go over here, you'll see it's transparent. There's nothing there. It's not just a white shape. And it can do some really cool effects. It can give you holes in objects. You'll be using that one a lot. Command Z again. So now we have intersect. And intersect, again, I've got to have both my objects selected. And intersect traces the outline of the region where it's overlapped. And so wherever things are overlapped will be the new shape. And so you'll see it subtracted everything kind of outside of it that wasn't the two shapes overlapping. Exclude is the opposite. It takes whatever wasn't overlapping and makes that the new shape, and wherever it was overlapping is taken away. And again, that's empty. It's not white, it's an actual empty, think of it like a hole in your object. On the second row, we start with divide, and divide separates a piece of artwork into its different faces. And so it doesn't look like anything happened, but if I hover, I'll zoom in. If I hover, you'll see that each of these little sections is highlighting in different paths. So I'm going to select it, ungroup, and if I get my direct selection tool, you'll see that this is now its own shape. Everything that was overlapping got kind of cut up into new shapes. And I'm using my direct selection tool now to edit these little shapes. And it's cool because now I can go in here and make them like different colors. I can move them around and do different kind of effects to them. However, I might want to work with that. I'm going to grab these guys. I don't have to Command Z all of that. Trim similarly does not look like we did anything, but it removes the parts of a filled object that are hidden. So if I move, I'm going to ungroup it, because these kind of automatically group the objects. And if I move, you'll see now there's a hole here. So anything that was hidden gets subtracted from the objects. The next one is merge, and merge kind of looks like it grouped it. It didn't unite. A lot of times we think merge is unite, but unite makes it one object. Merge makes it grouped, and then if you look, if I move this, the stuff that was hidden is gone. And so that would be helpful if you had this really complicated thing and you didn't need all that stuff underneath now, and you just wanted it to look like it was there. Because in the end goal, you always want to have the simplest shapes possible. You don't want things to be overcomplicated. So you might not use this a lot, but that's kind of the purpose for it. So I don't have to undo. Let's grab these guys again. We'll let that circle stay in front for a minute. Crop does just what it sounds like. It's going to crop down from the first image. We won't use this a ton because what happens is that's gone now forever. And we have another way where we can give the illusion of a crop without deleting that other parts of the object in case we want to change it. But that's what that'll do, is it'll take that front object and crop the back object down to it. I'm going to make my star a little bit bigger so you can see what it does on the intersect. I lied, it's outline. Crop we did, outline. So outline converted it all to paths, and what it did was they're all separate. So if I ungroup again and I get my direct selection tool, you'll see each of these intersections is a new segment. And so that will let us again kind of go back and we can change colors of things. Make it a little thicker so you can see. So it's just that one kind of bit to it. So that'll again let you go in and mess with the segments of a path if you need something to be kind of divided up that way. And then our last one is minus back. And that does just what you think, just like we had the minus front. The minus back will cut out the back from the front. So the opposite of the minus front. Hopefully this helps you see what each of these does a little bit more up close. And then your first assignment is going to be going into the Pathfinder panel worksheet that will do basically what I just showed you. You'd go in, you're going to copy this first one by clicking and dragging. I'm going to use my Option key to copy and select over here. And so this is your original. This is what it looks like when you apply it. And so, excuse me, so the first one is Unite. I'm going to hold my two, apply it, and it looks like that, and I'm good. Some of these you're going to have to edit a little bit. You're going to have to alter colors. You're going to have to go in with the direct selection tool after you ungroup, kind of like I showed you in the demo, and work your way through all of these. And then at the bottom, you can experiment, make your own shapes. They don't have to be stars and circles, and see what you can come up with and what you can use to make some custom shapes. And just let us know right here under Tools Used what you did. When you're done with that, you'll get to move on to a couple more where you're experimenting and building more and more complex shapes using the Pathfinder tools.